I want to tell you about the 5 most important things you should know if you're dealing with OCD. Stick with me, we're on to number 2. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist and I make videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And I am doing a 5-part series about the 5 things that every person with OCD should know. And if you missed number 1, check it out. It's right here. Watch it after this one. You don't have to watch them in order because I want you to be able to soak up each one individually. I will be coming out with a new video each week until I get to number 5. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified because I will make a new one every Thursday. All right, so number 2, most important thing that people with OCD should know, not in any particular order, right? They're all important. The second one is you cannot outsmart OCD. You cannot rationalize with OCD. I made a YouTube video about that recently. You cannot problem solve with OCD, and you cannot satisfy OCD by doing what OCD wants. So let's break those down. You can't rationalize with OCD. So let's just take an example. Now, OCD has many different themes and topics it can bother you about that look vastly different, right? So I'm going to take one like moral OCD. So moral OCD is having an intrusive thought or feeling that maybe I'm a bad person. Let's just use that as an example. You might have something different. You might have contamination, fear of germs, feeling like things aren't just right, feeling like things are disgusting. There's a million different themes that OCD can bother you with, right? But they all have an intrusive thought or feeling or image and the need to do something to get brief relief or avoid or mentally argue, whatever. Those are compulsions. And so if you have moral OCD and your intrusive thought is, oh my gosh, you're such a bad person, you might think, your knee-jerk reaction might be, I'm going to just debate with OCD. Hey, I'm a good person. I don't care what you say, right? And you might think, I'll convince OCD that I'm a good person. But here's the thing. OCD will never agree with you. It will always come back. It is like the elusive debater. It won its debate team. It's like the prime debater on the debate team. You cannot beat it, even if you're a really good debater. Don't even try. The minute you're debating with OCD, you already lost your debate because you thought you could debate OCD. You can't. So you say, I'm a really good person. OCD will be like, yeah, right? You're a good person. Oh, but remember, da-da-da-da. Or I'm really clean. Or I don't have any germs on me, or I haven't touched anything that's contaminated, or it looks just right, or I wiped enough, or I went to the bathroom enough, or I'm breathing, or I'm blinking, or that image is going to get out of my head. Whatever it is for you, and it will be different for each one of you, you cannot argue with OCD. So check that box. You cannot do that. The next one is you might problem solve. You might approach OCD in a practical way. You might even have friends, family, or even a therapist who's not trained in OCD to do this with you. Oh, if you're worried about germs, why don't you just wear gloves, right? Or why don't you just open things with your elbows? That makes sense. If you think you're a bad person, just repeat this in your head every time you have a bad thought and it'll cancel it out. Well, those are compulsions. And the more you do those things, the bigger the OCD grows. And it's not done with that because the idea isn't to come up with a solution. The idea is it's a hiccup and you're paying attention to that hiccup and you're giving it value that it doesn't deserve. And the more you pay attention to that hiccup, the more it will hiccup. Sounds like I have an accent. Hiccup. Doesn't make any sense. But so wearing gloves or trying to approach your intrusive thoughts or feelings in a rational way doesn't work because it will always give you another rule, another thing, another compulsion, another reason why that doesn't work. And it doesn't even have to make rational sense. It will just say, well, maybe it's seeping through the gloves. So maybe you need to wear 2 gloves. Or, maybe now your elbows are dirty. So now you have to avoid your elbows. It will come up with other rules and problems that you'll have to problem solve and you'll be in a vicious loop. So you can't rationalize. You can't problem solve it. And then you might say, well, then you know what, Natasha, I'll just do what it wants me to do because it's wanting me to wash my hands, or it's wanting me to get it just right, or it's wanting me to wipe again, or it's wanting me to confess again. It's wanting me to, knock 3 times so nothing bad happens. It's wanting me to avoid this, or don't say those words, or don't look at that, or don't wear this. It will be different for each one of you. And as long as I just do what OCD wants, it gives me a break. It does. And you know what? It does. It does give you a break. Just enough so you feel that relief. Just enough so you go, until it comes back for more. right? It's like a really bad mosquito bite. You itch it and it goes, oh, that feels so good, until you have to itch it again. And now it itches even more. So you have to scratch it more. And now it's all of a sudden you're like, creating a scratch on your skin, and it burns and it's worse. And you're like, oh, I should have never given in to the first itch. It's the same thing with OCD. The more you follow its rules, the more rules it will give you, and it will grow and disrupt your world. So the next step in understanding OCD is to understand that you cannot deal with OCD directly. That the best way to handle OCD, and I know this is going to sound simple, but I understand that it's very hard to actually do, is to recognize that that is just noise. That's just chatter. That's just garbage. That's just a hiccup, whatever you want to call it, right? And it didn't get filtered out like we talked about in our last video, in the first video of the series. It didn't get filtered out. And so you're giving it significance that it doesn't warrant, it doesn't deserve, it doesn't mean anything, but it feels like there's a lot of value there. But when you let it come and go, and you don't hold on to it, you don't debate with it, argue with it, you don't listen to it, you don't try to problem solve with it. Maybe it says, you should need to wash your hands. And you go, you know what? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'll make you wait. Maybe I'll delay it. Maybe eventually I can build up to ignoring you. So when you want me to do something or avoid something, I don't do it. And depending on what it is, I might do the opposite. You say, don't touch that. Oh, don't touch this. Oh, was that germy? I'm so sorry, OCD. Don't have that thought. Oh, I had it again. Oops, right? So when we don't pull back, but we actually lean into it, yeah, maybe I am that. Maybe I'm not. I don't know, right? Let's lean into the uncertainty. Then it loses its grip and it's able to float away again. So that is the second point in the 5 points that I feel like every person with OCD should know. Please stick around for number 3. And like I said before, if you've missed number 1, we've linked it below. Catch that one. And join me again when I go into the third thing that every person with OCD should know. I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do. And then I'll catch you again next Thursday. Take care.